All right, guys, so I'm hoping to save some other guys and gals some headache from what I've went through and experiencing the rebuilding of this Ram. Technically, you should have the part like I did. Sometimes you can get vehicles at auction that have already been disassembled and you might not have the parts, or the wreck took the part out, so you don't know which is what when it comes to rebuilding vehicles. Today specifically, we are talking about the newer body style Rams that have the painted front bumpers and the LED headlights and all those goodies. They do make a classic still. And this is not what's in front of me today. This is actually a Laramie 19, so it's not got the classic front end. It's got different style headlights. There's a few different style headlights with these newer guys, but I'm gonna get to this core support here that I got in front of me, and it really threw me for a curveball because when I was ordering the new one to replace my broken one, which right here in my hand is part of the piece of my broken one. The driver's side was trashed and the passenger side, basically all that was good was this part right here in front of me. So what you'll find is when you're rebuilding these Rams is, I got a few tips for you. The first tip is if your core support is still in good shape. I had to replace mine with a whole new one, but say your bottom cross member bar is bent, or say your top cross member bar is bent, or say this plastic piece on one side is broke. Let's say you have just one of those going on and you want to salvage it somehow. So they sell the upper, well, I take that back. I don't know if they sell the upper or lower individually. I never did check in on that because both of mine were trashed. But I know for a fact they do not sell these end pieces. And I'm getting ready to tell you why. You will only find these end pieces at a salvage recycler, because what's going on with these pieces is they're riveted in, and this one's already been unscrewed, but there'll be a rivet right here. And then where was the other rivet? Oh, right there. There'll be a rivet that you have to drill out. So these pieces come whole and they're riveted together. Now on this, let's see. There's a rivet, so it's right under there in the same spot. And then let's go down here. There should be a rivet down here as well. Okay, no. So on this one, there's not a rivet, which looks like it would have went there and attached there. But so on these in particular, you could probably, let's say if you had, like, let's throw out a few scenarios. If you have an aftermarket, which that's what this is in front of me, and that's one of the big things I had was figuring out, I didn't know there was a difference from the aftermarket and the OEM, because when I bought this core support, I thought it was an OEM because I bought it from a salvager or a recycler, auto recycler, and I saw some OEM parts like the Radiator, which led me to just assume that this was all factory. Long and behold, this is not a factory part. This is an aftermarket part, and I'm gonna get to that here in a minute. There is some part numbers you might be able to read there. That's DG, so that's 19 and on sport. It's for the 3.6 and the 5.7s. So what, yeah, I'll go over here and show you over here. This was the certified, so it's a certified part, but it's not an original. So it's not an OEM like you'll see here. You got the Chrysler stamp, you got the Mopar. I'm not 100% sure on this front grille. It might be aftermarket as well. No, it's got the, you can see the Chrysler emblem on that. So for some reason or another, the truck I got that these parts came off was wrecked, and this was an aftermarket part to my understanding. And I don't want to alarm too many people on this issue, because I have found people posting a part like this. It's just like this, but they're labeling it as OEM, and it appears to be an OEM part. I just don't see like Chrysler stamps on them. I see a part number, and it's all going back to OEM. I have a conspiracy theory here for you guys. We all know in 2020 that something seriously impacted the United States. Everybody felt it. There was shortages of everything. So I am almost betting what happened was there was a shortage in these parts, or they needed them quick, and they found somebody that basically made them like OEM and then just put Chrysler's part number on them or something. I don't know. Maybe they switched the design because it was just an easier manufacturing process, but I thought the adjustable one looked more official. But as I dug deeper into the subject, I went as far as asking somebody else that was working on a truck in a YouTube video. I asked that guy if his truck had ever been in a wreck, because what I was seeing was when he took his grill off, he had this, the non-adjustable version, and he said no, not to his knowledge. So I started scouring the web, and I was finding people selling these as OEM. Now, I don't know if that, and for fact, if those parts were OEM. I didn't physically have them in my hand or see like a Chrysler stamp, but I'm almost wondering if something weird like that went on with Chrysler and these Rams, that there was just a shortage of this part in particular, because it makes sense. I'm finding other supports with this adjustable piece, but it seems like after the 19s, they have these pieces. So one of two things may have happened. Maybe the design just got changed after a year. Maybe there was a shortage, so they had to figure out a different supplier, and someone else started making them, so they made them like the aftermarket ones are made now without the adjustable. If you are looking, you'll find a lot of these style. You're gonna say, well, that's not like what I have. It's a chunk of plastic here and a chunk of plastic here, like a block. Well, on this one, you got a shorter block on both of them. You're gonna see the differences there. So I was thinking something, my truck was all stripped and took apart. I was thinking something actually hooked onto those metal brackets there, and that those were a necessity. Long and behold, I got to playing around with the part and realized that these guys actually adjust. So basically, this is a non-adjusting front radiator support, and this is a adjusting radiator support. So the factory, there might be some aftermarkets that adjust, but that's what you see in there, guys. So when you're ordering the part and it says it's for a 19, I'm gonna check to see if these will fit for a Classic 2. I wanna say they do, but I'm gonna double check. I know for a fact they're for the newer 19 and on body style. So I'm assuming that, I don't know, they might be for a Classic, they might not. I'm gonna double check and confirm just to help some others out, but that's what you're seeing here on this. This is one of the main points I wanna get across in this video, is there's gonna be a difference. And yes, this part will fit your truck. It's just not gonna be adjustable. If your truck was wrecked, you might consider it adjustable. Maybe you need that, maybe you don't. I don't know why OEM, I guess it just made life easier for them to be adjustable. I don't know the reasoning. You'd think that everything should be pretty cut and dry and the same, everything should be the exact, but I don't know. Chrysler, for some reason, threw that in there. So that brings me to my second point here, is if you just need, let's just say you need this plastic piece, and let's say you have an OEM one like mine, what you'll want to do is there's auto recyclers that will sell like just this part. So you'll hop on eBay or an auto recycler, and what you're going to do is just basically rivet this part back on with the correct rivets. And it's as simple as that. You drill these rivets out with a drill bit. Just find a drill bit that's close and drill until it pops off. And then you're going to take, and with this aftermarket one, that might throw you guys too, but there is a hole where you can rivet this part in particular onto there, so that's cool. But just a little bit different design here. Gonna function the same, just you're not gonna have that adjustment. Which brings me to, if you need to say replace just the top bar and you come across the top bar, you're just gonna rivet out that rivet, and unbolt everything and pull this out, obviously, and then you're gonna just rivet it back on. Same goes with the bottom. These are all interchangeable, so don't let those rivets throw you off. You just drill those out and add your own. And it's as simple as that. And yeah, I just hope this helps somebody because I could not find anything, and it took me, I guess I didn't really focus 100% on it. Like, what am I gonna do here? I was just trying to find a bunch of different parts. And when I was surfing the web, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to come back to that because I literally did not know. I was trying to save some money. I already had this part, and the ones I was finding was saying that this was for my RAM and then this one was for my RAM. So I didn't know that that was just an adjusting part. Just a quick glance at it, I was like, oh, that's not gonna work. But long and behold, it does. So just keep that in mind, and I hope this helps somebody out. Please follow along on my channel. I'm rebuilding this Ram 19 from an auction, insurance auction, and I'm documenting the whole process. So I wanted to get this. I felt like this deserved its own video just because I did not find anything on this subject yet, and I wanted to make sure it was on the internet and accessible to anybody else that was running into an issue like I was on this course support. So that's all for this video, and I want to thank you for watching. I'm filming this from the luxury of my home, this ending part, because I wanted to add to the video. I am not 100% sure on if the core support that I had shown you out in my barn, if that will fit for a Warlock or the skinnier style. I'm just gonna call it the skinnier style LEDs. And I'm not real sure on the years of the skinnier style LEDs or the Warlocks. I just know my truck in particular, and I'm hoping that I can attach this video and get some Mopar guys to chime in on pointers on what core support, if this core support that's pictured in this video will fit the Warlocks, or if it will fit the skinnier headlights. I think it's the limited, there we go. If it'll fit the limited or the Warlocks. I wanna say it'll fit one or the other, if not both, but I don't wanna put out false info out there. And I'd also like for some guys that maybe own those trucks in particular to chime in on what kind of core support they have, if it's in fact the one that I have out here pictured in my barn. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, comments, let us know, will this core support fit the Warlock or the limited? I did do my research online, and I can 100% assure you that that core support out there that I just showed you will not fit the Classic. I know I brought that up in the video earlier, but these core supports will not fit on a Classic. It's a totally different ball game there. I don't know if there's differences on aftermarket versus factory as far as what I ran into, my particular issue. Hopefully you guys don't have to run into that issue at all. It's pretty cut and dry for you if you have the Classic. But this is definitely going to pertain to a 2019 to a 2022 Sport Ram. And if it goes beyond that, maybe some of you Mopar guys will chime in and go past that. So if there's another guy in a situation that needs a Radiator Sport or core support, whichever you want to call it, I feel like it's both, but probably more so a Radiator support. But I know I've mentioned both in this video. But yeah, just drop a comment, help another brother out, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in.